Welcome back to another video, folks. Today the video is kind of themed as mounted assault because we've got lots of grenadiers with half-tracks. Now I've done a bit to these half-tracks, as you'll see, but these are half-tracks for mid-war. It's long past time that I made some progress with my mid-war collection if I want to have the kind of games that I have planned. I mean, a lot of it's going to be based around Kursk, that's why I've got a defensive line here. These are the World War I trenches, but they'll do nicely for the defensive line that the Russians built at Kursk, this plus other kind of field defences. Now, as you can see, these aren't just straight out of the box with standard crew half-tracks. They are Plastic Soldier 251Cs. Now, one thing I would say about Plastic Soldier compared to Battlefront is I would actually buy the Battlefront Cs. That there in the fender is a very good explanation for why. They've got really big ejection pin marks on them in various places. Right on the fender's just terrible. I've covered them up with some stowage, here and there. The other side's got the same, as you can see. I could have done a lot more filling, but you know what, I'm a war gamer. I like to spend a bit of time painting them, but I don't want to spend all my life fixing little issues that don't have to be there. The 251Ds don't have the same problem, but here it is in the Cs, which is an earlier kit. So you may want to consider the Battlefront options, even if they're a bit more expensive. I don't actually know what the comparative price is. But here you go, I've got lots of infantry, lots of passengers inside the half-tracks. Makes each one unique and identifiable and adds a great deal of colour to them. That's one reason why I went for the plain Dunkelgelb. I didn't want to add any camouflage swatches or lines or such likes because the passengers really stand out more. Now I mentioned mounted assault, and that's because some of the half-tracks have been modelled with the passengers in the act of, excuse me, where are we going? In the act of dismounting. And I didn't do a hell of a lot with the basic infantry figures. I'll just get this one over here. Where are we? For instance, this guy here. Turn that around. Let's see. He's jumping off. Well, he was a pretty good sculpt for that with his hand in the position it was. This guy easily leaning on the front, ready to get off. And this guy here, I just had to cut his foot a little bit, his right foot. So it was pointed upway a little bit, and I made little changes like that across the board. And a lot of these guys in here have actually had legs removed. You can't really see. You know what, this guy's had legs removed so that they fit in. But basically it's creating a sort of sense of movement and a lot of character. Other than having to paint a lot of passengers, it wasn't a great deal of additional work to do it, as I said. With some of them I changed the position of the heads a tiny little bit, but only a couple. This one on the side here, I just had to thin his front down a bit so he was flush with the side of the half-track. Otherwise that's it really. Then just a few leg amputations, I'm afraid, field amputations, to get some of the guys in position. Let me see, this guy, the half-tracks, everyone's fine. This guy in here, if I can just find it, might be hard to tell. Hard to get the light in right inside it, but that's one reason why I could do this. But he's had his left leg cut off. Now these are the soft, the crew, the passengers are the soft plastic grenadiers. So they're quite easy to work with if you want to do something like this yourself. I don't find them as attractive as the Metal Grenadiers. They've got some really, really nice detail on it. I wouldn't want to criticise them in any way for that. Let's see. You can see on the back there, there's a hell of a lot going on. You know, so they've got some nice detail, but they're quite difficult to work with, this soft plastic. It just kind of comes away in lumps. Even if you've got a really sharp knife, you're okay, but even then, it's very hard to actually get that bit of plastic off, that thing that you've scraped. It kind of sticks. It takes paint well enough. Don't have any problem with that, but hard plastic on metal is probably more my cup of tea. Now, let's see if I can actually illustrate the degree of modulation on these half tracks. It's quite subtle, and it's become a bit more subtle than I would like after the matte varnish has gone on. The lighting's quite strong today. You can perhaps see the darker area over the top of the engine hatches, and then underneath them the hull is darker towards the bottom, lighter towards the top. And then I did fading, like you may have seen on previous videos, like I did on my Tiger and Africa Core videos. So you can see lighter streaks as well as the darker enamel streaks, and that fading is done with acrylics. That really helps you create a lighter top edge right along the top. I think I should have gone even lighter with these. I didn't want to have them like neon, but the matte varnish really dulled them down. But as you can see here, the half tracks are going in a mounted assault against this Russian defensive position. Lots going on inside the half tracks. To give a real sense of character and activity. And for the half tracks, I next have to paint up the Stummels, flamers and 8cm mortars. And that'll be my German half tracks done. And a bucket load of mid-war infantry. The infantry you see here are actually late war. They'll do for mid-war, but for instance the command base over he's got a Faust. And I'll be wondering what the hell a Faust is doing here. Thinking, well, that's a nice idea. They should make them. That commander of this, looking a bit like Fu Manchu there, that's not a moustache. That's just a bit of very deep shading. These faces are a bit strange to paint as well. There's some really deep areas. And as you know, my technique is all about leaving the deep areas of the faces in shade and then applying highlight, but it's quite a strong contrast here. But there you go, it's a unit I've been wanting to finish for quite some time, folks. Makes for quite a nice scene, I'm sure you'll agree. Maybe give you some ideas for yourself, but don't go completely mental and over the board, as some people were suggesting, with cutting the doors off at the back and having them coming open and setting them on bases with guys running along the side. You can do all these things, guys, and I could have done them all, but you know, ultimately we're painting these for our games. We want them to look good, but we want to, well, not set ourselves any impossible goals, because we've got a hell of a lot more to paint, which I will share with you as it gets done. I have some Wesps, mid-war Wesps, some grills, and some Nashorns or Hornies, however you want to say it, in there on the way soon, so keep your eye out for videos for them. So, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you like my Panzer Grenadier half tracks, and if you do, stay tuned, subscribe, like the video, all the usual kind of things, and I'll keep posting them up for you.